council member, and after council member Miller, Ms. Meserve from the local agencies of the North Delta. Councilwoman.
Thank you. I'm Stockton City Council member Kathy Miller, and I also serve as chair of the San Joaquin Delta Coalition, which includes members from the county, each San Joaquin city, water agencies, irrigation districts, business advocacy organizations, and environmental protection groups. The coalition believes the plan before you today is much better than originally proposed, and we sincerely appreciate the efforts of the council and the council staff to meet with us and try to resolve our differences. However, we remain deeply concerned about the impact of the proposed regulation on our San Joaquin residents. Others have talked to you today about some different problems with the plan. I intend to focus my comments on the relationship of the proposed regulation to local government's efforts to create jobs and lessen the rate of poverty in the Central Valley. I think it's important to provide you all with some context. A recent United States congressional report declared the Central Valley the new Appalachia. If the Central Valley were its own state, we would be the 21st in terms of population, but the second poorest after Mississippi. The percentage of our residents with college degrees and specific job skills is less than half that as our adjoining Bay Area. We have infant mortality rates and other health ailments on a par with many third world countries. The gap between Stockton's average household income and the state average is 4 times greater today than it was in 1984. And Stockton's population living in poverty increased 56% in the 2000 decade. These economic disparities are growing, and they represent a profound public policy failure that must be addressed in our state, in part by ensuring that state regulatory burdens which suppress economic and job opportunities are not overly burdensome to our most economically deprived areas. It is quite simply unjust. The EIR you are being asked to certify states that these concerns are irrelevant. But as fellow policymakers, I implore you not to ignore our reality. The people of San Joaquin County suffer significant economic pain and hardship. Stockton, the economic driver for the region, is fighting for its life in bankruptcy court. And this plan offers yet another set of roadblocks to our economic recovery. We desperately need an open hand and not a closed fist. This current version has an unintended consequence of creating uncertainty and instability in local government decision making. This in turn scares off capital investment that could jumpstart our recovery and create jobs. We need policies from the state that enhance capital formation and job creation, not policies that chill them. DSC staff have personally met with me to discuss the current regulation. I believe both the regulation and staff are well-meaning. I am no legal expert, but the problem is quite clear to me. Staff interprets the plan language in a more reasonable and substantially more workable manner, but the actual plan language still reads in a threatening way. You asked earlier for some specific examples. I'll give you one. Page 205 of the Delta Plan states, new urban development, including residential, commercial, and industrial uses, must be limited to the following areas. 1. Areas that city or county general plans, as of the date of the Delta Plan's adoption, designate for development in cities or their spheres of influence. DSC staff offered me an oral opinion that this language means that any new urban development within a city general plan or sphere of influence is by definition not a covered action subject to council review. Yet a plain reading of the language discloses a direct conflict between staff's interpretation and what it actually says. The plan says that new urban development is limited to a designated area. In other words, it is prohibited from the primary zone of the Delta, but it does not say that projects within a city general plan are exempt from the covered action process. This is the kind of ambiguity that gives us concern. If the true intent of the plan is as DSC interprets it, then let the language clearly reflect that. Please do not leave it subject to future interpretation by others after all of us here are gone. We encourage the council to revise the plan to correspond to what your staff is telling local public officials. We would be happy to provide additional specific details and sample language. We can debate the details of the plan all day long. That's not why I'm here. In the end, what matters to us is that we eliminate uncertainty and we create a level playing field. Even the impression that local government decisions may be subject to an appeal process will generate enough uncertainty to convince a job-creating capitalist to avoid the potential risk, locate in Stanislaus or Fresno counties, and bring those desperately needed jobs to their communities, not to ours. This is patently unfair. I sincerely believe that this problem can be resolved through some revised language that parallels the statements offered by DSC staff when I met with them. And I respectfully ask for the opportunity to continue these discussions in a meaningful manner. We are ready to meet with you or your staff at any time. Thank you for the opportunity to comment today.
Thank you very much, Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller, I had you down with 2 slips of paper, but I think you covered both. Okay, thank you very much.